So the reports that Putin is massing troops on the border of Ukraine and in the Sumy region in particular. What do you make of that?
Well, I have to say I'm skeptical. There may be a lot of troops there, and certainly the Russians would like to try and get momentum somehow. But as General Cavoli said a month ago in his testimony to the House and Senate Armed Services Committee, Russia's losing on the battlefield. They have demonstrated they do not have the ability to knock Ukraine out of the war. They can only kill innocent people with their attacks at nighttime on cities, but they don't have the land power, and certainly they're not integrated with air power supporting land operations the way we would. Um, so while they may have a bunch of troops, I don't think they have a lot of equipment. I'm skeptical that this is going to be some breakthrough kind of point in the war.
But let's talk about kind of the realities on the battlefield right now. Is it a complete stalemate at this point, or is it your impression, and based on what you've seen, that there is slow but some progress by the Russian military in terms of taking territory, as small as the gains may be?
Well, I mean, you could imagine that there are villages or places where the Russians may gain 1,000 meters or 2 kilometers or something like that. Um, but when you go back to where they were, I mean, frankly, today the situation on the ground is not one bit better for the Russians than it was before 22 February or about the time that they launched their large scale invasion. And yet, since that time, they've lost close to 900,000 casualties. They are using museum pieces for armored vehicles. They've got soldiers attacking in golf carts and e-scooters. So um, I think that they can still put lots of troops on the ground, but these are not going to be well trained, and they're not going to be part of a mobile armored formation that can penetrate Ukrainian defenses. Now, I don't want to
But
overstate this for the Ukrainians. Obviously, on the receiving end of these attacks, they're getting pounded with drones and artillery and rockets, and it's still a very, very difficult, close fight. Um, but I try to think more broadly about what's going on. And here we are, after 11 years, with Russia having every advantage, they still cannot knock Ukraine out of the war. Their Air Force has still not gotten air superiority. The Black Sea Fleet, nobody even talks about it anymore.
yeah, yeah, no. But I guess the question that I'm trying to get to is, and part of this is a speculation, obviously. But do you think that in Putin's mind, what little progress they may be making, again, assuming it's just not a stalemate at this point where nobody's moving in either direction, do you think that he views that as sufficient reason to continue the effort? I mean, there must be some reason for massing some 50,000 troops up there on the border with the Sumy region. So I'm wondering, and again, I realize that I'm asking you to speculate a little bit here and get inside Putin's mindset, but is the scenario that we're looking at where Putin thinks, okay, I've got enough progress. I believe it looks like the U.S. may be backing away from Ukraine, perhaps. And so why would I sit down at the negotiating table?
Well, you've put your finger on it. The decisive part of this war now is what's going on inside Putin's head. He obviously doesn't care about casualties. That's not his concern. And this war is not going to be won because the Ukrainians finally killed 1 million or 1 million plus Russians, killed or wounded them, and they'll probably hit that million number by the end of the summer. Um, it's as long as Putin thinks that he can win, which means as long as he believes that the West is not going to actually give Ukraine what's needed, support Ukraine with what's needed, both in terms of real support, but also the West using its economic power to wreck Russia's oil and gas industry. And especially if he sees or believes that the United States under this administration is not going to help, then I think he keeps on going. Um, because he has never backed away from any of his stated objectives. He still doesn't recognize Zelensky or refuses to recognize President Zelensky as the legitimate leader. The Russians have zero interest in actually coming to a negotiated settlement. So as long as he thinks he can win, he'll keep doing this.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment, a really positive, nice, and kind comment. That would be appreciated. And if you're not already subscribed to our channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our daily updates.